Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this emergency update of the Coastal Cast Live. I am Andrew Houston, and I've been tracking winter weather already, as you can see on the radar on my screen, moving into the Columbia area. Looks like some snow showers coming through Augusta, moving in towards Columbia. A little bit of dry air out there is going to kind of keep that at bay from reaching the ground. But I'm interested to know if anybody's in Columbia right now and they're seeing snow showers, or Augusta, Georgia, seeing snow showers as well. Anybody out there have any of that, please share those photos or videos with us. We'd love to see it. We're kind of on the leading edge here. You do have some of these outer bands of snow showers kind of working their way through at this current moment, but that's only a small taste of what's to come here for the rest of the day and overnight hours tonight. So we are looking at some pretty significant accumulation chances here along the Grand Strand. So we're going to kind of dive in here deep. I have gone over model after model after model, and we're going to talk about total accumulation and timing of this system. As you can see, timing is of the essence here. We already have snow showers working into South Carolina. Meanwhile, this center of the storm is still relatively far away, but is moving very quickly. So we're going to dive in here today. And this will be the last emergency update before chase mode. So once everything happens, we're switching from models to radar and going from there. So we're going to continue to follow this all the way through till the end, and we see what our final results are going to be as far as accumulation. Right now, I'm expecting 2 to 4 inches. Maybe some isolated areas of relatively more accumulation. However, the models are showing a little bit of frozen, either freezing rain or sleet that could kind of take down some of those accumulation levels along the coast. So we'll talk about that as we look at the models here in a few seconds. We're going to jump right on in here. I'm going to pull up my models here, and we're going to start here with the 12Z GFS. This is the afternoon run here of the GFS model, talking about timing. As you can see, the model's doing a pretty good job being a little bit more accurate with this storm. So here we are right around 1 p.m. on the model. This is 18Z. Right at 1 p.m., showing a little bit of, looks like it wants to give us a little bit of frozen precipitation. Radar's not showing any of that. We are seeing a little bit of rain. It looks off the coast just a little bit. If I would just switch to the Myrtle Beach radar, we could see that. But so far, nothing here, but it is kind of spot on with Augusta and Columbia, seeing some of those snow showers, very light snow at this point, if it's even reaching the ground. As we move through here this afternoon, this is going to be 4 o'clock. As you can see, by 4 o'clock, the GFS wants to show us pretty much covered in snow. At that point, with some freezing precipitation, probably some sleet right along the coast, as we have a little bit of a warm nose that wants to kind of dig in here, keeping temperatures a little bit higher above freezing to give us some of that frozen precipitation here. As we move through the early evening, this is 7 o'clock. Snow is relatively heavy at that point. Especially as you get down towards Charleston and Georgetown area. Snow is pretty heavy, but we're still seeing that mixture of that sleet, freezing rain with a little bit of snow in the middle of it. And that's, again, still that warm nose that the GFS wants to show. As we move forward through the night, this is 10 p.m. here, snow along the Grand Strand. Pretty heavy at times there, and this is where we expect a lot of that heavier accumulation to start beginning to work its way through in the overnight hours. So GFS is pretty good. Now, here's where things get tricky, okay? As we get around 1 a.m., this wants to show a major transition to that sleet. And this is what could knock down some of those, if this were to happen, some of those accumulation. That accumulation can get knocked down drastically here with this sleet or freezing rain at that point. But we'll take a look and compare that with the other models here and see where we're at as far as what we think about that. And again, by 7 a.m., we're on the back edge of all of the snow and frozen precipitation at that point. By 10 a.m., everything's out of here, and we start to improve. The conditions will improve there. If we want to take a peek at the Euro here, give it a second here to load. And we're going to shoot out. The Euro is by 7 p.m. completely covered. As you can see, again, the Euro wants to show some of that mixed precipitation just right on the tip of the coast here, where we're seeing some of that mixed precipitation. That's going to be your sleet at that point, a big line of sleet, and that follows just a little bit south and east of that frozen line. So there's the 540 line. That's your freezing line. So a little bit, we're pulling a little bit of a warm nose up in from the southwest into that area right along the coast here. So we could experience a little bit of that sleet there right along the coast, diminishing a little bit of the accumulation of the snow at that point. As we move through the night, snow wants to take over here on the bend of Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, but still seeing that sleet and freezing rain down here in portions of Georgetown County, Murrells Inlet, Georgetown, all the way down into Charleston at that point. So pretty consistent as far as where the freezing, the hard freezing precipitation is going to be. That's going to be your sleet. So throughout the night, we'll keep a close eye on that. And if you have conditions, and you can please send us conditions on what you're seeing as we go through the night, whether you're seeing sleet, freezing rain, or snow at that point. So keep an eye on that. And by 7 a.m. again, conditions start to improve and everything clears out. So this is a very rapidly quick moving storm. So this can be in and out of here in no time, but will drop a relatively decent amount of accumulation during its 12-hour period or so here, 10 to 12-hour period. As I said before, we are seeing some snow showers here popping up on the radar right now in Augusta, some in Columbia. So if you're in any of those areas, feel free to send us some videos or photos if you have some. A little bit of looks like it could be rain down here on this bottom edge down below Augusta, Georgia, right in here. Looks like a little bit of rain wants to mix in there, and that may be associated with a little bit of warm air as part of that warm nose that wants to kind of dip in and take over a little bit of that snow accumulation. So back to the models here. We're going to switch over here, and we're going to look at this 12Z run as far as accumulation goes, and kind of work our way through. Louisiana is getting absolutely hammered right now. Blizzard conditions in Louisiana, Texas, absolutely hammered at this moment right now. They are seeing probably going to be record-breaking snowfall, I would imagine, until this is all said and done. But things will start winding down there for them here relatively in the next few hours, and clear up a little bit for them. As far as snowfall totals here on the Euro around the Grand Strand, we're looking the Euro's calling for 5 inches, 6 inches as you get more towards the Georgetown area and down into Charleston, right along the edge of the coast there. 4 inches out near Conway, Carolina Forest area, 4 to 5 inches here on the Euro run, and it's not unrealistic. To be honest with you, I don't really see an unrealistic pattern here and we'll see that as we kind of move through some of these other models. We're going to hop back over here to the GFS, the 12Z GFS, and we'll take a look at total snowfall accumulation with that system with the system on the GFS as well. So we run that out, and we're looking anywhere from 3.7 inches up towards North Myrtle Beach, Cherry Grove, down into Myrtle Beach, 5 inches, and much higher amounts here. Look at this, 10.5 inches down a little bit further south of here towards Charleston, and just a massive amount of snow here. This is probably not going to be happening because, as I said, all of these models are showing some frozen precipitation kind of working its way in there as far as sleet goes. So that's probably going to back some of these numbers down. This is a little high. If this was all snow, most likely the possibilities there that they could see that potential for that those amounts of snowfall. But right now, just comparing the two models here, 5 inches here in Myrtle Beach. This is showing 3.7. There's 5.8 there around Carolina Forest, Conway area. So, and as we move a little bit further west, the amount of snowfall accumulation decreases drastically as you get out towards the Columbia area, Florence, and west into the western mountains of South Carolina and up into the mountains in western North Carolina as well, looking at a dusting to a 1/2 an inch out there. So let's take a peek at the HRRR as far as the precipitation. Let's see timing on the HRRR. If I can get things to work out for me here. So timing, the HRRR brings things in a little bit later. You can see that frozen precipitation there along. This is going to be your sleet right along the coast down into Georgetown. That's why I'm saying some of those numbers are just a little wacky as far as total snowfall there goes. But the HRRR bringing, as far as timing goes, relatively close to what the GFS and the Euro, maybe a little bit slower moving than what the other two are showing. But by Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning, around 7 a.m., this is out of here as well. But eventually you can see that transitions. The HRRR wants to transition everything for the last about 2 hours of the system to all snow at that point. And that's going to be our coldest time of the morning there. So that's the HRRR. Let's look here. And I apologize, I have to keep going in every time I switch models here, but let's go back to the HRRR and we'll check accumulation there on that. So let's see total snow accumulation through we'll just run that out through tomorrow afternoon. This is going to be showing, again, some really, really high accumulations, 8.2 inches, 8.6 near Myrtle Beach, Carolina Forest, 6.4. I think these are a little relatively high given the possibility of that sleet moving through the area as well. So, but all in all, the models are really significantly close together as far as accumulation goes. And you're never going to get a perfect forecast with accumulation. Last night, I was watching that westerly trend kind of pushing west, bringing that moisture in a little bit more towards the coast and in overland a little bit more here. And, that was all under the influence of that high pressure system that's sitting up in the Ohio Valley. That is now looking like it wants to stay northwest and then eventually shift to the east, well above us. and allowing less of that dry air to kind of work into our area. And then that it further increases the amount of moisture that's allowed in off the coast to produce accumulating snow here in Myrtle Beach. So, so that was why after our emergency update last night, I decided I was going to increase my snowfall totals to 2 to 4 inches. And I'm pretty glad I did, because it looks like everybody else now is following suit on that as well. So I'm pretty confident in that 2 to 4 inch range, and that's kind of where I'm going to stay right now. Again, you may see some outlying areas that can see maybe a little bit more than 2 to 4 inches, but that's going to be very, very isolated areas of Myrtle Beach or Conway, or maybe a little bit west, are going to see a little bit more of those isolated areas where you could potentially see some heavier snowfall during the overnight hours. But right now, overall, 2 to 4 inches from the Georgetown through North Myrtle Beach. Anything west of, I'd say, 95 is going to be that cutoff. Anything west of 95, you're looking maybe 1 inch to 2 inches, and then west from there, a dusting to 1 inch at that point. The mountains of North Carolina, a trace to 1/2 inch, I would say. So, and then, or the mountains of South Carolina, a trace to 1/2 inch at that point. So let's take a look at this model here. This is the RIP. We'll do total snowfall accumulation here. And I don't need a sounding there. So here again, wanting to be somewhere around that 6, 7, 9. This is just crazy numbers along the coast. But like I said, again, I'll repeat myself one more time on that frozen sleet precipitation can cut down a lot of these numbers here. So let's see if this, as far as precipitation type, what that brings along with it here, if that's going to show. See, this is again showing that freezing sleet precipitation here along the coast, and a little bit inland too as well on that. So let's switch here to the NAM and see what the NAM wants to show us. We'll look at total snow accumulation here first. And the NAM actually pushes higher amounts a little bit west of 95, so out towards the 95 corridor, and shows a little bit less here along the coast. But it also shows that NAM also shows that precipitation really, really far inland here with the snow, the heavier snow, and then we got that heavy sleet and freezing rain precipitation here along the coast. So it's kind of up in the air as far as what we're going to see as far as sleet goes, and how much that's going to diminish the snow accumulation at that point. We do know that accumulating snow is imminent in our area, but how much it's going to be really depends on if that warm nose wants to dive in a little bit deeper than where yesterday we were looking, that Georgetown area, Charleston area, that warm nose was kind of dipping in just a little bit, giving them the chances for the sleet and freezing rain. But now it appears that warm nose wants to kind of dive in just a little bit deeper and penetrate coast of Myrtle Beach here. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. At this point, 2 to 4 inches of precipitation, snow precipitation, as we move through the afternoon and overnight hours into tomorrow. So plenty of snow to be able to play and make some snow angels and build some snowmen for the kids. So dads, you better get on it, building the snowmen for your children. So we are very, very close to the start of this here for us. We're only several hours away from actually starting to see some precipitation start working into our area. Let's check out the GEFS. This is an assortment of models here. Let's see. Precipitation type, ensemble. Again, the GEFS is wanting to show that sleet potential as well. And this is all the members in the ensemble group. All of which are pretty much showing that sleet transition over time here, and then eventually switching back to snow for the ending portion, the last few hours of this system. So pretty confident here at this point we're going to see some sleet transition there, but how much we don't know. So we're not going to know till we start seeing it on radar. At this point, we're transitioning to, after this broadcast, the radar is popping up, and we are going live with radar throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. So we will keep a close eye on that sleet potential. Let's see what the mean snow accumulation looks like for the GEFS. And again, looking at that 3 inches, 4 inches, this is going to be a little bit more closer to what my prediction is at this point. So that 2 to 4 inches across the board for everything east of that 95 corridor. Everything west, you're looking at that 1 to 2, maybe 2 inches. And west of there, that dusting to a half an inch, maybe an inch in some isolated areas. So my call here for this is 2 to 4 inches here along the coast and Conway area east of there. And then everything west of there, you're looking at that 1 to 2 inches, and then eventually that dusting to an inch the further west you go. Out to the mountains, you may see a trace to a dusting, maybe a half an inch in isolated areas in the mountains. But for us here along the Grand Strand, 2 to 4 inches. I look forward to chasing this and bringing you guys, what's happening in the Myrtle Beach area. We will. I'm not sure if I'm going to launch it right away here, but I will bring up live radar for you guys just to kind of come back and look at as we go through the evening hours. As this system starts to move into our area, I will have live radar up there and probably give some updates here and there, and then decide where we want to chase and go get some footage for you guys. Currently, right now, winter storm warning is in effect for our area, all of Horry County. Snow is expected. Total snow accumulations between 2 to 4 inches with locally higher amounts possible. Total snow accumulations between 3 and 5 inches near the coast, locally higher amounts possible. So that's where I'm saying those isolated areas could see a little bit more than that 4 inches. But we want to, I'm really wanting to designate a certain amount for everybody. So, that 2 to 4 inches is what we can really expect. Locally higher isolated areas can see that higher potential. So we want to, stay aware of the situation and what's going on. Impacts here from this. Plan on slippery road conditions. The hazardous conditions will impact the Tuesday evening and Wednesday morning commute. If you don't have to be on the roads, please do not be on the roads. It's very helpful to first responders and the South Carolina DOT that they need to be out there maintaining the roads and taking care of situations. So if you don't have to be on the roads, don't be. There's no need, especially around 4 in the morning. There's no need to be on the road. So timing here for this winter storm warning from 9 p.m. this evening to 8 a.m. Wednesday morning. That's pretty much all I have for that. We're going to kind of zoom out here and let's take a peek at down here in New Orleans. Things are starting to kind of settle down a little bit. They still got some heavy snow. You can see these bands of heavy snow working their way through. They've got some cells. They got some some freezing precipitation, probably sleet there along the coast. And as we look at the Mobile radar, still some heavy snow in certain portions. Let's take a peek. There's some heavy cells working through Dothan, I guess that's how you say it, up into Montgomery. Let's take a peek at Florida. Nothing there right now. And got some rain up here in Albany. Here's the Macon radar. You can see north up into Atlanta. We've got some snow mixing with a little bit of rain there. So still pretty warm there for the daytime hours. But we are getting closer to time for us here in Myrtle Beach. Look at this heavy convection here off of the coast down in Florida, Georgia. We're starting to work into the Atlantic. So a lot going on here, really a lot going on. Pretty heavy, pretty decent snow showers here working their way from Augusta in through Aiken at this point. So we're going to keep a close eye on this as we go through the afternoon. Like I said, I'll probably bring the radar up live as things start to transpire here in Myrtle Beach and a little bit closer. So this afternoon into the evening, we will be back live with radar and kind of hop in here and there and talk about it a little bit. But other than that, we will see you when we're ready to start chasing here and see what we can get into as far as what's happening around the Grand Strand. So we'll keep you updated. You can count on us to keep you aware and ask any questions that you may have. Please feel free to like, comment, and share this feed. That helps us keep doing what we're doing. Your support means everything, and we appreciate you guys following along as we have forecasted this system for what feels like a lifetime now. It's been a little over a week and a half that we've been talking about this. So super excited to see this kind of come to fruition and see how our forecast lines up with what actually happens. So winter storms are really, really hard to predict sometimes. So we really want to do our best to try and get as close as possible and be as accurate as possible. So so far, our forecast throughout has really aligned very well, and I'm very confident in my forecast. So things are really starting to come together as far as what we initially forecasted. So super excited to see how things happen and things go forward. But we will see you later. This will end our emergency update here this afternoon. If you have any questions, please feel free to send us a message or comment on this feed, and I will be sure to answer those questions as quickly as possible. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you later this evening as things start to unfold.